Good evening, everyone. I don't know why, hold on just 1 second. I don't know why the video is not working. About that. All right. Good evening, everyone. I will call the May 2nd, 2023 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present. It is now 7 p.m. and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen special meeting. Was not special meeting minutes, the meeting minutes from Tuesday, April 18th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these minutes?
I didn't see anything. I thought they looked good.
We're good.
Okay. All right, all in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from April 18th, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, correspondence. We have the report from the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. In February of 2023, Troop D troopers responded to 158 calls for service in the town of Thompson. Most notable were accidents 10, investigations 17. There were no burglaries or larcenies, and non-reportable matters were 131. There were no DUIs. There were 11 traffic citations and 2 written warnings. Now in March, we had a second correspondence for March of 2023. There were 172 calls for service in the town of Thompson. Most notable were 13 accidents, 24 investigations, no burglaries, 1 larceny, 134 non-reportable matters. There were no DUIs. There were 10 traffic citations and 20 written warnings. And the second piece of information that we had was Conservation Commission and their opinion that they rendered for the future development potential of Riverside Drive and Azad Road, noted as Hillside Townhomes. The developer is Jason LaValle, and they gave their recommendations and they CC'd the Board of Selectmen. Any other correspondence at this time for the board?
No.
And the only thing I have is a letter of resignation I would like to present to the board under other business. Could I have a motion to add to other business the resignation letter from ACO Janice Smith?
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of adding the resignation letter of our animal control officer Janice Smith to other business, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. With that, we're at some, is there any other correspondence that the selectmen have to share? Okay, I think I already asked that. Sorry about that. The letter of resignation was a tough one, so I'm a little thrown on. Selectmen comments at this time. Any selectmen comments?
Just the Saturday they got the Makers Fair.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, I think it starts at what, 11 o'clock, 11 or noon,
Yeah.
but setup starts like 8 o'clock in the morning. So
Which is a very cool event.
Yes,
and
it
that's
is.
At Riverside Park.
right here at the park.
What did you say starts at noon?
It's either
Usually
11
like-
or noon,
Yeah,
somewhere around there, but they start setting up like 8 in the morning.
always a variety of vendors and local artists.
Yeah, I mean, historical is
Is
there.
it looking good? The weather's looking good for the.
I believe so. I think the rain is supposed to clear out on Friday and it's supposed to be decent on
Don't
Saturday.
have
So
service.
it's,
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah, it was fun
Yeah.
last year.
A lot of local vendors.
A lot of local vendors.
yeah, it's very well attended. There's the food trucks, et cetera. They put a lot of work into it and it's
Food truck.
it's great to come out to see and meet your neighbors and let the kids run around and et cetera. So it's always a good day.
Been a complete success for sure.
Yes.
I have an update. We did receive approval from the state of Connecticut finally today to award the bid for the library roof project to the developer, Young Developers, that the team had chosen. The state of Connecticut gave their stamp of approval on our decision, and we can move forward with beginning that project.
Great.
We have been out sweeping the roads, mostly the roads that were most recently paved, because we're going to be doing a chip sealing maintenance plan in the next couple weeks. That's going to be beginning. Something to note, Thompson Hill Road, Route 200, the grinding or the milling is going to be beginning by the end of this week for the state paving project.
Are we going to be able to get any of those millings?
Joe has already been in touch with Rafferty Fine Grading to coordinate getting some of the.
Yeah, because it's a great base for the work that we do on the roads.
Yep, he's already reached out to them to make sure. He couldn't attend the meeting, and I had another engagement that day. But he did reach out to them, I think it was Friday, to make sure that we were in line for that. Yeah, aside from that, I think that's it. I think we should move on to citizen comments. All right, the floor is open to citizen comments, and we will begin in the live audience here in the Cine room. Any citizen comments at this time, please just state your name and address. The mic in the middle of the room will pick you up. So feel free to speak at this time if you have any citizen comments. Hearing none, any citizen comments from the virtual audience? Welcome to speak, just unmute and state your name and address. All right. Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 7. Oh, yep, agenda item 7, Owen Adam Road. Back in February, I had received a letter from a resident and a butter of the former Owen Adam Road, requesting that the Board of Selectmen consider officially discontinuing the road. With that, I reached out to our land use attorney, Rich Roberts, who is in the virtual audience with us tonight. I consulted with him, and the first step that we did was we notified all of the abutters to let them know that this request had been made, and further notified them that the meeting would be tonight to hear their thoughts on the request. So at this time, I feel like we should start. Potentially, Mr. Woodward, would you like to say anything about the request that was made?
No, it was just that over the years, initially when the road was first closed, it has become unclear as to whether it is officially still a town road or is it not. And depending on where you go, it's not clear, because on the state DOT town road, they show a portion, they only show like 198 feet is considered improved road, and the rest is not mentioned.
Right.
Which is what prompted me to explore a little further. My concern, or our concern, is that over the years, even since the road was closed, we get a lot of ATV traffic that's coming up. Prior to the gate that was put on the far end, when there was a permanent barrier, they would come down or around the barrier, I'm guessing, and then a lot of times come down off of 395 or in that area down the Old Bridge Road, come down along Owen Adam Road. And the difficulty that we're facing is with the property, we're part of the American Tree Farm System. We've had forest management plans. We're working on wildlife habitat projects. And to gain access to our property, over the years, we've had trail access off of Owen Adam Road. It's very attractive, and the ATVs don't stay on Owen Adam Road. They go off on the property, and uninvited, you know, they do remove walls to make clearings for trails, cut trees. They cut trees up. run through the wetlands. So there's a number of issues that are occurring, physical issues. And because of the status of the road, we're really limited. Our hands are tied as to what we can do. You know, we see them, we ask them either stay on the road or, you know, not to use it, and that's not working. But what happens is when they get to the south end of Owen Adam Road, the way it has grown up, the town had installed a gate there. They're coming around the gate to get out. You know, and it's just become a big issue for me. I'm sure some of the, you know, the other abutters may have similar issues with ATV traffic. I don't know what their position is on whether they're tolerant of it or not. We allow a lot of foot traffic. If people want to come on the property, they're welcome to access it. We encourage them because that's part of what our ethos is to provide a public space, even though it's private, for people to come in and appreciate what we're trying to do for the environment and the habitat there. So because of the issue we're having with the ATVs and our limited control and the uncertainty as to the actual status of Owen Adam Road, that's why I reached out to the Board of Selectmen to see if they would investigate further, find out what the status was, and then therefore what the process would be and what it would mean to all of the abutters, not just ourselves, but to all of the abutters as to what would happen if the road was discontinued or not. Now, for the last 35 years, the town hasn't done any maintenance on it. So that's basically where I'm at.
And at this point, I'm wondering if it's best for me to ask Attorney Roberts to weigh in on. I know that, Rich, you shared with me the procedure, but what is the impact to the abutters should the Board of Selectmen and the town at town meeting vote to discontinue the road? Because it does have to go to town meeting if I read the instructions correctly.
Correct. I mean, the first step is what you're doing right now, where the Board of Selectmen is discussing it. If you decide to go forward with discontinuing some or all of the road, you'd refer it to the Planning and Zoning Commission under 824 for their input. Following that, the Board of Selectmen would basically have a second meeting to take more formal action. Prior to that, you'd send written notices to all the property owners and put signs on both ends of the road. And at that point, the Board of Selectmen could recommend discontinuance, at which point it would go to the town meeting, for deliberation and action. What the effect on the property owners would be is that, they would no longer have frontage on a town road. It wouldn't be a town road, and they could control access over the road. One of the things that any property owner along the road would get when it's discontinued is that they would still have a statutory granted easement to use the road to get to the nearest or most convenient public highway. So it wouldn't have the effect of landlocking anyone or preventing property owners from using the road to get to a public highway. It would just close it to public use and would end the town's obligation to maintain and repair the road.
Okay. Any questions?
Rich, how does that affect this? I don't know if you looked at the map. There's several properties that would become technically landlocked with the discontinuation, for value.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they would have value. I mean, they wouldn't lose all their value because they would still have a legal right to use what had been the road to get to a public highway. So, it's a clear and guaranteed legal right, under the statute. So, there may be some change in value based on the fact that it doesn't front on a public highway, and for example, it may be more difficult to subdivide or comply with zoning regulations that require that you have frontage on a public road. But I think you could probably address a lot of those through getting a variance with ZBA, because it's not a situation of the property owner's own creation.
One of my thoughts is, knowing the area and having grown up in town, we're looking at properties along 395. Some of that was on the old Rich Road, which was divided out by Route 52, which is now 395. Back in the day, you've got some parcels up there that may have potential to be commercially used, being along the highway. So when we look at, and I understand the discontinuing of the road, because the town has done a couple of them over the years.
Mhm.
But there's a few large parcels up there. I mean, the Rosinskis have numerous acres. The Gnomes have, just under 100 acres, and of course the Woodwards have, their 100 acres, which are probably the three biggest property owners up there. But the town has been struggling for economic development, and these are all the things that, before we venture into a discontinuation of the road, that we don't hamper the property owners or the town for economic development. And that's one of my main concerns. I mean, there's 88 acres along there. That's there. I mean, you've got the other property that's currently being gravelled and et cetera. And of course, there's a sanctuary up there. So they all play together, but the town is, looking for the future. And, we are a residential town. You do service this town, Rich, so you know what we're up against here.
Yeah.
So these are my concerns. And before we make a snap judgment and do something, we need to explore all of the impacts and how it's going to affect the near future and the long-term future for a variety of things. I understand the ATV issue. Even if we discontinue the road, that becomes an enforcement issue. That is not going to go away.
It is.
Okay, I'm talking to the attorney, if you don't mind. Thank you. That is not going to go away. Now the property owners have to hire somebody like yourself, and somebody's got to go out and enforce that. And, there's a cost associated with that. So people do ride where they want to ride, and it is very difficult. And if the road is completely blocked off, then nobody has access to it, et cetera. So I don't see how that will go away. And it is a problem in all of the towns. It's even on the airline trail. We have ATVs and different things. I mean, your firm represents numerous towns, and you see this day to day. So I don't know what the best advice, on the short term for them is, just to deal with the ATVs.
Well, I think that what you missed though, Ken, was that Attorney Roberts said that nobody would be landlocked. So I don't know why you're.
No, I didn't say to be landlocked.
Well,
But I'm worried
concerned
about,
that they would be landlocked.
I'm worried about future development being along 395. We have talked about economic
Right.
development in town.
Absolutely.
So,
But just also remember that it's a very isolated area, and I'm not saying that it won't be developed in the future. I really hope that it will be.
but you don't want to put, like I said, I'm not against discontinuing, as long
Because
as
you
we
can-
explore
Because you can
all of the
always
variances.
apply to build any type of road or driveway. That's what a driveway ordinance does. It allows us to build driveways in various places. And my biggest concern, I'll concur with you, but my biggest concern when this came to me back in February, so this isn't rushed. I've been talking to Miss Attorney Roberts since February. And my biggest concern was, will somebody be landlocked? And in knowing that there will be a statutory easement, relieved my concern. And so I think it's important at this point to potentially hear from the abutters.
Oh, I have no
Because
problem.
they're-
I'm just asking the
They're
questions.
the
that I
most-
have.
And I think every single abutter is here today, including Mr. Nome, who I just made sure he's on Zoom, he is listening in. But I would, unless,
No, I would like to hear from the abutters too, because you're gonna be the most affected, I think.
is there anybody here that would like to speak?
First of all,
Can-
we've owned.
can
this
you
land
identify
for
yourself?
40 years.
Oh, please just identify
Anna.
yourself.
Oh, my
Anna.
name is Anna Nome,
Just,
and
Just
I,
for the
record.
record.
our family is owner of 100 acres property. Now, we have all paid our taxes for a good 40 years, and we represent a lot of money to the town. We have never asked for anything. They put a gate at each end or whatever they did. I'm not familiar with the property. But it's not fair that we pay taxes for so many years, ask for nothing, and now you're taking the property away from us. And that's not right. And what that man says about landlocked, you are landlocked. Call a real estate broker and say, we'd like to look at property in Thompson. Well, we have a property, it's got whatever you called it. And, you know, you couldn't get in there. It's useless. Another word for landlocked is useless, worthless. And that's exactly what it is. It's not worth anything. I walked in here tonight owning, I don't know how many acres, close to 100. I'm gonna walk out of here worth nothing. And he had said that, yeah, the property values will go down, but what do you think 100 acres will go down to? It'll go down to nothing. A broker, a commercial broker will not agree to look at the property. Because he has to look at a map and there's a circle. And yeah, we do have the right to go down the trail and look at it, but that's not owning, that's landlocked. I don't care how you define it, that's landlocked. And this road has been a town road for all these years. We've asked for nothing. And now you're gonna take that away from us and we walk out of here with worthless property.
well, we don't
Please
make the
know that
decision.
we're not making we have been approached and we have been asked, so it's our job to investigate and to hear from everybody.
Well, we're
So
not
it-
happy.
You're not.
So I'm gonna take it you're against it.
Right,
Yeah, I think so.
okay.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's what we want to hear. And that's why we're having this tonight. That's why we're having this. We're not trying to take anything from you.
Or
And
land,
like I said, it was my first concern. So that's why we're here to listen to you.
I'm Pat Radzinski. The main issue with this all started was somebody complaining about the ATVs being on the road. No matter what you do, the ATVs are still gonna be going up and down the road, although I personally have not really heard anybody going down the road. Maybe Mr. Woodward has heard it on his end, but there are gates on both ends. And they're going around the gates if they are all going on the road, or they're coming through the woods and going onto our properties. And the main issue of this whole thing is, why can't we just keep the both ends open in case we definitely need an access to that property? And then we wouldn't be landlocked. We would have an access onto Wilsonville Road and an access onto Labby Road. And I'm totally against closing that road.
Okay, and I do want to hear from everybody else, but I know that when I spoke with Mr. Woodward, he had said maybe even half the road.
Which leaves access to me going out onto his portion of the road.
Which is the closest. And
Which is the
Christie-
closest
Christie
to
and,
it.
which is the closest access to the nearest highway is going out on to Wilsonville Road instead of Lappy Road. So if you have to close anything, you should probably close the opposite side if you're thinking that way, because the closest highway is the side that the Woodwards are on. And
Did the
I have-
truck traffic with the gravel operation drive through your
No,
property?
No,
Okay.
that's
Yeah, so
something we had
That's all that.
That's helpful.
when we started with the gravel bank, that we wouldn't go out onto Mrs. Woodward's side. For the fact that we didn't think it was proper for us to go past her property. So they always came out onto Labby Road. But in the future, I'm not talking about trucks going out onto Wilsonville Road. I'm talking about my access onto that, to the nearest highway.
Okay.
If I'm mistaken, I'd like to ask this question of the attorney. on the statute, it states that it would be access to the nearest public highway. Does that mean a town road or a state highway?
Town road. Well, I mean, whichever it is, whichever is the,
The closest access.
yeah, it's a public highway.
Would be Labby Road.
So that would be Labby Road from
Depending on what.
all of those properties on the north end. And for us, it would be Wilsonville Road on the south.
Well, it honestly depends on how far up the property goes to everybody
Right,
else.
and-
We own, we own.
But you don't own the road.
No.
no,
Right.
We
Yeah, I
we
understand.
own,
But if the road was open,
Yeah.
it would still. be-
About 117 acres.
on that side, we own 124.5 acres.
Yeah, you had noted in
I
your
counted
letter
like
to us,
117.
It's about
3,200 feet,
linear feet where
Yeah.
we own the property on both sides of.
both sides of the road.
And my understanding as well is, and this is where it becomes an issue, is where when we confront the people, or not confront, but speak with the people on the ATV, when they're on Owen Adam Road, there's absolutely nothing I can do.
Right.
When I see them in the woods, it's a different story. If they're on our personal property,
Mhm.
we can get their name and number. If this is a consistent problem with the same people and they're causing damage that we see, we can contact the game warden and they will confiscate the ATV. So there's a legal recourse when they're on our property, as I understand it, and I could be wrong. But on Owen Adam Road at this point, they have the free right to travel.
Is your forest, so you have a large core forest, is it overseen by DEEP, is it? Or is
No,
it just, it's
we're-
designated?
It's designated
Okay.
by DEEP as
Okay.
part of the large core forest when they did their analysis of the state of Connecticut.
Okay,
And it's one of the key components of their plan for conservation.
Mhm.
I mean, it's problematic for us in what we're trying to do in enhancing the wildlife and, I guess I'm trying to find a way to ensure that our goals, and I don't want to impede on the goals of our abutters. And I wouldn't have approached this had I thought that by discontinuing the road or part of the road, that they would not have access. Having read the statutes, it was my impression that they would still have an easement, statutory easement to access their property, which is why I went forward.
Right.
Had I,
Could I speak on Zoom?
yeah, just state your name and address or relationship.
Sure, I'm Brenda Rosinski. I'm in Brooklyn, New York at the moment, but I'm Patty's daughter.
Okay.
And so I'm just wondering, I think it's fair that we all know who approached the town hall to shut the road down back in February.
I did.
Okay, so that we know that, okay.
Yep.
So, and then furthermore, I'm not understanding if we're shutting the road down, why one road gets to be, one access point to a major road gets to be shut and the other one has to be open. That's what I'd like to know, the validity and the fairness in that.
And what do you mean by one?
Well, Mr. Woodward is saying that he wants his end shut, but
That
what
was,
if, but hold on, let me finish.
sorry about that.
What if we want our road end shut? Then what? What if we, want to close that end down and access on the other side? Who's to say who gets the right of their side to be shut down? In fairness. If-
So I only pointed out that this could be a possible compromise. He did not say that he wanted only one side. I was just saying, well, it was suggested that maybe that was a compromise.
Oh, well, it's,
that-
that's
So
all.
that the side closest to the other abutters, because and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Woodward, because he owns that entire portion on both sides. That's what directly impacts him.
What
This-
does?
Closest to Labby Road does not impact him because he's not in a butter on that section.
Okay,
and
but
that's
that's
why-
fine.
And
Right.
I was only throwing it out there just as, hey, that might be a compromise.
Sure, but
Here,
sure,
we're-
I understand that.
We're
I
trying to find solutions.
Well, okay, maybe a second solution or a second compromise could be that my mom's side and Mr. Wigglesworth's side, they combine forces and say they want to shut that side down. Then what? I just, if a road is being shut down with several abutters, regardless of where they are, what side they're on, it obviously has to be, a vote and a compromise or whatever we want to call it. But to give preference to one abutter out of the other 4 or 5 doesn't make sense to me. Regardless of where they lie along the road.
I don't think anybody's given preference.
Right.
No,
This-
I didn't,
We're just we're discussing something
right.
presented to us to see if we
Right.
should take further action and send it on to P and Z for them to evaluate. Or if there's too much controversy, or if it's not gonna go any further than this board. So there's no preference.
Yeah, no, it just kind of, I'm just wondering, I'm just throwing out, if somebody, one side wants it shut down, the other side might want it shut down as well, their side.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's one of the possible options is that the whole thing gets shut down, or part of it from one end gets shut down, part of it from the other end gets shut down, part of it in the middle gets shut down. Those are all possibilities, and regardless of which part, if any, gets shut down, the people who abut the portion that is closed, if they don't have frontage on the open part of the road, will have an easement by statute to the nearest or most accessible public highway.
I'm just curious, Mrs. Nome, your property, it's closest to Woodward, is that correct?
I don't know.
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're closer to them than you are to say is it fair to say that if we cut the road in half, that you're on the other side, you're on the half closest to 395, is that safest to say?
No.
All of the other abutters are closest to Labby Road.
Our property basically abuts both sides of Owen Adam Road for 2/3 of its length.
Yes.
The other third is abutted by Wigglesworth's, Brzezinski's, Gnomes, and Kimball's.
And then Mrs.
Can I
Nome,
just stop for,
Yeah.
because we have a recording secretary that is not present, can you please identify your name and address before you speak? So that she can take notes on this. It's not to offend anyone, it's just that we have,
Yeah, I guess I didn't do that.
and
I'm Marjorie Woodward.
yeah, and she won't recognize by voice, or sometimes it gets challenging, you can't see everyone.
And also,
I'll put my video on.
I mean, they've all announced where they reside. But when they
No,
speak,
not
okay,
everyone has.
but no, this is Anna Nome speaking,
No, that's,
and, just to
yeah,
simplify.
just to say your first or last name, or
Do you want us to do it every single time we talk, or?
no, Ms. Rosinski, you can, the recording secretary is not here currently, so anybody speaking in the live audience.
it's harder to identify.
It's always helpful to identify who you are just before you start, but you've been continuing on, so please continue.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think I'm done. I just wanted to find out who wanted to close it down in the first place. And furthermore, if one person along the road wants to, requested to close it down, and the other 5 abutters or 4 are requesting not to do it. And actually, I'm getting a text from Mr. Nome, Tommy, and he's saying he can't get on, can't get on Zoom.
He said he was just on, and I haven't seen him trying to get in. Let me see. Oh,
Maybe you have to let him in.
Yeah, I don't see him coming in. He was there under, I think he was under an iPhone.
So anyway, if one abutter of the five, how many abutters are there? Five?
I think there's
Oh,
5.
there he is. Oh, no, that's not him. Okay, so there's 5. So if one abutter is sort of requesting that it be shut down and the other 4 aren't, I'm
Well,
not.
that's, we don't know for certain because so far only 2 have spoken. We have the Gnomes speaking and the Radzinskis. And then the Woodwards. So that leaves 2 more individuals that I have actually personally spoken to, but I'm not sure if they'd like to share anything.
I would.
Okay? Please state your name and address.
Scott Wigglesworth, 81 Labby Road.
Thank you.
Down there. Well. How much has it cost the town to maintain the road?
Well, we have not maintained it.
Right, and I think you've cut some trees and keeping it clear.
No.
No, well, I have,
Mhm.
keeping it, the reason you can walk in there is because of private people.
Oh, maybe you want to call it.
And yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm not going on anybody's property, but it's not costing you anything for us to do that. I mean, I shouldn't say us, but I've taken numerous tires out of there, all kinds of things since I've been in there. And you know, I like to see it open for safety sake too.
Okay.
That's not being brought up. I know it's a little sketchy down by the other end there with some trees down, but it could get pushed aside if there was an emergency, you know?
Mhm. Well, back in, so just to give history for anybody in the Zoom audience who might not know, or anybody here that might not know, back in 1989. There was a motion made by the Board of Selectmen to close Owen Adam Road due to reasons of health and safety and notify all abutting landowners. So at that point, it was a unanimous decision to close the road. However, on the state road list, the town of Thompson only claims 0.03 miles. 158.4 feet are listed on the state road, so that is all that we're claiming to be town road at this point. Now, back in 1989, what they should have done was officially discontinue the road. And it wasn't until an administration had opened it up for a gravel mining operation that it reopened. But it was just never formally discontinued. Should it have been discontinued in 1989? Likely, because currently we only receive funding from the state for 158 feet. So just something to keep in mind as we're moving forward and making decisions on this. So.
Chrissy Anderson, Wilson Road. So out of that 158 feet that you were funded on, what have you put into that road for repairs? Where's the funding for that?
Well,
The money that the
158
taxpayer-
feet, it's 0.03 miles.
I'm just saying, but there's still money that the taxpayers are paying for those
We
repairs.
could, I could
that-
absolutely calculate that for you, and then we could take that money and figure out what we could do with that.
Okay.
Buy some more barriers.
Buy some more barriers.
Maybe we could buy some more barriers.
1989, if people have been paying taxes, these landowners have been paying taxes on that 158 feet that's been given.
And we
Money
could
spent.
consider what they were paying for taxes not being on an official road versus what they would have paid being on an official road that's being actually utilized as a state highway. So you've got to consider that there would be that difference too. Playing devil's advocate,
I'm
playing
just,
devil's advocate,
Yeah, but wouldn't it be a town road, not a state road?
but it would still be, oh, so a town highway, an official town highway.
Yeah.
Because currently it's sort of the status is unknown.
Well, to us, the status is known, it's town road.
Anybody else that's in a butter that would like to
Mark
speak?
Woodward again. Are you saying that 158 feet is a town?
158 feet are claimed on the state town
Oh.
road list.
We get funding from the state
State,
to maintain 158 feet.
correct,
Whatever we put into all the 98 miles of road that we have in town,
thank you.
we determine what we're currently using and the condition, and the state gives us money towards it. So there's probably some set, like the rest of Owen Ave, we don't utilize it, so we're not gonna claim it as an open public highway. So that's why it's only that short piece coming in from Labby.
Anybody else?
I guess it's my turn.
Okay.
I'm John Kimball, 175 Labby Road. And my concern is the trailer truck traffic coming right by my house. When the road was open, it was closed when I got there, and then it's open. To me, that's pretty disturbing. It's a little more disturbing than ATVs driving by. And if it's, as Pat said, wouldn't be proper to go by Mr. Noam's house, or. I know, so many names, but anyway, what would make it proper to come by my house? You know, it is disturbing, and I put up with it for a while, and but I didn't like it, I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't complain, I took it. But it's very aggravating. There's a lot of dust, there's a lot of noise. People in and out of the gate. There was a guardrail when I got there, and it was closed, and it was nice, you know, so. As far as the ATV, I'd welcome ATVs to go by compared to a tractor trailer. So that's my concern, why, you know, if you're gonna close one end, close the other end, close the whole thing, or open them both.
And I think hearing that, we know that everybody's affected in a different way
Exactly.
by this request. And everybody has their own needs that they see as most important. And as a board of selectmen, we're gonna be tasked with deciding, okay, where do we go from here? How do we appease 5 different opinions? We did not hear from Mr.
I
Tom
do have a
Noam.
question.
Okay, go.
I'm a little confused. It's a closed road and it had barriers at each end,
It
But
did,
now-
at my end, there was a guardrail.
a guardrail or some sort of
And the
additional.
gravel pit was open, the guardrail was.
But now there's a gravel pit that's using the closed road?
The gravel pit hasn't been working because.
But there-
Nobody's using it now.
But there was a gravel pit that was using the closed road,
Gravel pit.
Yes, there was,
but they're not using it anymore.
not,
Well, I can't use it anymore because the town didn't.
It was
fix the
yours.
Culvert on the road, and I can't go out onto Wilsonville Road. So my property is landlocked. I can't go out because of the culvert being broken, going to the gravel bank. And going the opposite way onto Wilsonville Road, we agreed that we can go out that way. So I can't even run a business down there.
Hi, Tom, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna put you on speaker. I'm hoping everybody can hear you. Do you want to speak? Okay, and I'm happy to I'll send you the recording too if you want to listen to everything. So everybody, I have Tom Noam on the phone and I think he'd like to speak. I hope that I can. All right, Tom.
Yeah, this is Tom Noam. Being one of the abutting property owners, my major concerns are the devaluation of the property. And then, of course, the access to the property is another concern. And if that goes to the landholders, how that would be protecting us as landowners that would absolutely 100% be landlocked, in the sense of being landlocked if we didn't have proper access to the property. So those are my major concerns. And I hope this hearing can iron some of these out and consider, you know, our problems with the property. I think my mom, I caught her in the beginning, talked about the years we pay taxes. Rich Road used to be a town road, and so are the adjoining roads. And it just so happens that we got locked out years ago, but we still pay taxes on land, and I'd appreciate consideration in that.
Okay, thank you, Tom. So Tom, currently you live in Texas, but the property that's in your name here in Thompson is it 0 Labby Road?
No, that's not.
Oh.
It's one Rich Road, I think. It's
One.
Yeah, it's Rich Road. It's the road that would have bought 395 now.
Right.
So the minute you enter from Massachusetts, it's about 87 or 89 acres on the right-hand side, 3 parcels, I believe it is. I just bought an extra 27 acres, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 years back. So everything that's to your right, with that little, it ends about the stone wall where the little pond is, but it shoots to the back all the way to the Rosinski's property behind me.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Do you want, I can keep you on the phone so maybe you can hear everybody speaking. Did you want to stay on the line?
Sure, you would be. I'll
Okay.
thank you.
Yep. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Rich, do you have anything you want to share?
No, I'm happy to answer any questions or, if you,
Okay.
Scott Wigglesworth.
Okay, Mr. Wigglesworth has a
To-
question
to
for
the
you.
attorney. So if this ever did go through, anybody down there would still have access all the way through on that road? Legally?
anybody who abuts the portion that is discontinued has an easement over the discontinued portion to get to the nearest or most accessible public highway. So you may not necessarily have an absolute right to go in both directions. The idea being that you go over it to get to the nearest or the most accessible public highway.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to ask another question.
Sure.
It's Brenda from Brooklyn over here. So now I'm kind of forgetting what I was gonna say, but yeah, I'm forgetting what I had to say. Go ahead. You can continue a little bit. I'll remember.
But when you remember, jump back in.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions for the attorney while he's on? Ms. Rosinski?
Oh, I do.
Patty Rudzinski, so after all these years of being able to go over, exiting onto Wilsonville Road and exiting onto Labby Road, will be stopped by not being able to go over Wilsonville Road. So if that culvert is never fixed, my gravel bank is moot, you might as well say, because I wouldn't be able to exit onto Wilsonville Road.
Marjorie.
Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess at that point you'd have to decide whether going to Labby Road is actually accessible. It's the nearest or the most readily accessible. So, if there's a direction that's shorter, but it's, not passable, you can go the other way.
It's not passable to come onto Labby Road because of the culvert. The heavy trucks can't go over the culvert.
I will say the difficult part, Ms. Rosinski, with the culvert is the town is basically in disrepair everywhere. For us to make priority on a road that's not officially a road, at least not more than 150 feet of it, and circumvent doing any other type of culvert work that needs to get done, like Buckley Hill Road Bridges, which is a $3 million project for one culvert that would affect potentially one business currently, or 4 people currently. It's a lot to ask of the town.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I should be able to have access onto Wilsonville Road then.
Again, it's a matter of what everybody thinks is most valuable to them. And what you see as valuable, or what Mr. Kimball sees as valuable, or Mr. Woodward, they're different. So we're in a very difficult situation where we're gonna have to try to work this out. Potentially, Mr. Woodward.
Alan Woodward, my comment is, or my question is, and this is both for, I guess, the attorney and for the selectmen. If the road is not discontinued and it's determined that the most accessible highway is Wilsonville Road, will the town then make that an unimproved town road? Will you reopen it? Or will it become an improved town road? And if so, who bears the expense of maintaining it? Because it has not been maintained for the last 35 years.
Rich, if we were to make it an improved town road, that would mean complete restructuring of the entire road, which would fall on the town's shoulders, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, I
there
mean, if
such thing as an unimproved road now? That's typically a private road, right? Help me understand.
Well, I mean, as a closed road, it's kind of neither fish nor fowl because it's not officially discontinued. It's just not maintained.
I guess, Alan Woodward again, I guess that's kind of my question is. If it was opened at the south end, the Wilsonville Road end. Who's responsible for maintaining the road if there's vehicle traffic over it?
Well,
If-
if it's
if it's that-
open and not discontinued, it's the town.
Rich, some history on Owen Adams Road. They had shut that down, I think it was 89.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
30 years ago. A gate was put up. I think the only ones that had the keys to that gate were the property owners that abutted the road. So they could access their property.
And fire department.
And yeah, but if there was a brush fire or a forest fire out there. So in the case of Rosinski, when they're doing the gravel mining, the gate at Labby Road, the town had the key, they had the key. I think,
He never had a key. He never had.
but I did give somebody a key once. Okay, it was you, because you bought the 20 odd acres and to have access, but it was only for you to go in. Okay, so the road wasn't open to common traffic, it was only open to the abutters. So we weren't maintaining it at all.
I
Does that
mean,
make sense? Rich?
Yep.
I mean, the town could still legally, if we did not discontinue the road, we still can close the road and only make it accessible to the property owners that are out there.
Yeah, you can do that. It just creates kind of an ambiguity in terms of the status of the road. You know, that it's still a town road, but you know, access is restricted.
And that's the way it's been for the last 30 odd years.
What was that?
Oh, Miss
Which way was it? 30 years. For 30 years, it's been blocked.
At both ends,
Closed.
yes.
Yeah.
But the access with what the Rosinskis were doing down there, they were coming in by Labby Road.
Right.
So they had access to open the gate, close the gate accordingly. No other traffic could go in. Other,
No, a lot of traffic.
no, because it's gated.
Yeah.
And when he bought his 20 odd acres or whatever, he wanted to get to his property and, you know, he's in a butter, gave him a key to the lock,
Ms. Ritson.
which is appropriate.
Patty, supposing I wanted to stop the gravel bank and not have the gravel bank there, but I still needed access from Wilsonville Road in case I wanted to sell lots in there, housing lots. Supposing the Gnomes wanted to sell housing lots and they wouldn't be able to because of that, because of the culvert, so we'd have to access Wilsonville Road. So we have a chance, our property value is going to go down to not, not very much because of that.
And a gnome. Nobody's gonna buy a house lot that's not on a town road, that there's no access to, only special permission. No builder, no bank, nothing. All right, you're really creating a very serious situation for us if you discontinue it as a town road.
And if I may, if I may follow Mrs. Gnome, this is Brenda. The belt of coming in from 395, you all know that people are going into Boston, they're coming in to live in Thompson as far as Thompson, Dudley, Webster, all that, is gonna eventually, is going into Boston. So if people are not, there's no sellable point there because they technically don't have access from 395. So if there is anything going to go in there, it's kind of irregardless of what it will be, whether it's houses, whether it stays a gravel bank, whether it becomes a merchandise location for a big company where they want to warehouse their product, somebody like Amazon, anything like that. They're not going to have access. I don't even know if it was somebody like Amazon, let's say, can they go around the bin where the Woodwards are? You know, creating traffic going all through town instead of accessing it quickly right to 395. So say it was Amazon and you know, the amount of tax and benefits that the town would have with something like that in there. Not saying we want to do anything like that. It's just, you never know. What kind of advantages could the town have potentially in that area for revenue? So that's, and I did remember what I was gonna say. What portion of the 100 and some odd feet is actually town road? Where is that located?
It's located off of Labby Road.
Okay, okay, just, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't clear about that, okay. But, you know, we're all looking as far, you know, I grew up in Thompson. We went to Turtle Lot, my sister and I graduated from, Tommy did too, Mr. Gnome. And, you know, even looking at the state of the school at this point, with no revenue coming in for the town. It's everybody's moving to it, going to a different school even. Turtle Lot is not even close to it.
We do need to stay on topic though.
Oh, that is on topic because I'm talking about the revenue coming into the town and benefiting the town.
That's a whole nother conversation.
No, I'm talking about I'm just talking about I'm just talking about sort of, I mean, I'm just talking about the, you know, the potentiality of that land for the good of the town.
And I would agree with you. There's more discussion to be had about that and more hurdles that would have to be leapt over to accomplish some of those ideas and those dreams. But that's not what we're talking about right now. So I just want to stay on topic.
So
We
closing a
have the
road,
attorney that's here and I just.
closing a road and not having a town road anymore is like a permanent. That's a permanent thing, as opposed to closing the road to the public. Closing it to the public means the town still has access. It's still, I think it's a far bigger decision that we as a board are able to make, and it's not our decision to make. And we need to have
And I
more.
don't think we were planning on making a
No,
decision.
we're not. I completely understand if it were my property and I didn't have access, or I felt I didn't have access. I don't know this property, this road, so I'd like to really have the chance, Scott, maybe you could walk it with me at some point or something. I don't know if you remember me.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, you know, I could connect with you and we could walk the road.
Sure.
Yeah, so that I would have a better understanding of this, but it may be something we want to send on to P and Z to evaluate, or is it too early?
Rich, I know the process is we could recommend it to P and Z, correct? And then it comes back to us. Am I correct with that, Rich?
Well, it's not even recommending it to them. You can refer it to them for their opinion without taking a position.
Or an action?
Okay.
Well, it's good to get more of
That's
the,
what I'm
of
thinking.
the different departments to look at this. I mean, you got economic development, you've got the P
Conservation.
and Z, there's conservation, everybody has a say in it.
Have a walk.
Yeah, what,
But I'd like to walk it.
and that's one of my main concerns.
Right.
What's going on today and what's for the future.
Mhm.
The other thing that I think we did miss, and I don't know the answer to this, is Anna's and the Ruzinskis both have property on what was Rich Road,
Right.
okay? I don't know what the status of that section of Rich Road is. Because now you've got, if Rich Road is still a legal road, even though it's been closed forever, that dumps into Owen Adams, because it can't go, because the highway cut it off.
Right.
So we still have to look at part of that situation.
Is that viable, Rich?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to take a look at the map and figure out what the status of that road is.
Okay,
Yeah, and I don't remember.
Mr. Wigglesworth.
Scott Wigglesworth. I don't want to get off the subject, but I grew up in Webster. Old gentleman next door, lived almost 100. He had a property that was willed to him from his family. Well, now the caretaker or the heir or whatever is finding out that a road runs through there. And there's potentially, I mean, it's paper road from the town, so. I don't understand why we couldn't just leave this the way it is and just leave it as a road. I mean, is it gonna hurt the town to just leave it the way it is, right now, you know? Instead of going down this road that we're going down. And then someday somebody wants to develop something, we did a mistake here by getting rid of this road, and now we gotta hire a land use attorney to fix it all together. Well, how do we get in there again? You know, we already had the access to get in there, you know, but
Is that a potential? Should we be worried about that, Attorney Roberts?
Well, I think if any, you know, if you discontinue the road and if somebody comes along or the town decides that, you know, the road needs to be revived and rebuilt for purposes of development, you can always do that. You know, if there was a, you know, a viable large development that was going to justify the expense of building the road, you know, certainly they could do that just, you know, just like anybody who wants to build a road on basically empty land now.
the way the whole country got built.
Rich, what would be the process if we did discontinue the road? What would be the process to reactivate the road? What would legally we'd have to go through to do that?
Well, if it's part of a subdivision, you'd do it through P and Z, just like any of the subdivision roads that you've accepted over the past, you know, 20, 30.
You're missing what I'm saying. We discontinued the road is deeded to back and forth to the property owners that abut the property, correct?
Yep.
All right, so technically they own it, but there is an easement to gain access through. Are
Right.
we talking eminent domain of things of that nature that we may get into the mud with? If we had to reactivate that road because there was a future development, you know, that we may do 30, 40 years from now? I'm looking at whatever ends up happening, attorneys get involved and it costs people a lot of money.
And
If-
hence, I want to, and hence also deducting that's costing us money, it will deduct from the price of the property. Because if we're trying to sell it to a development or something, that price of making a new road would need to be absorbed in the ticket price, in the sale price. And if we have an issue with, you know, the side closest to 395 sort of being somebody's, you know, property at that point, and there's no access, then how do we reverse that? That's talk about getting in the mud. And what if Mr. Woodworth sells it to someone with the, you know, with the stipulation that there's not a road there, that that's all theirs? Then we really have an issue.
Ms. Rudzinski, you had your hand up, and then I think Ms. Woodward, you would next.
I agree with Ms. I'm Anna Nome. I agree with Mr. Woodward. I think leave it alone. We're talking here about lawyers coming in and development and you can't do it and all this. Just leave it alone. We, the property owners, are asking for nothing. Okay? Nobody's gonna take the ATVs away no matter what you do. So leave it alone. That's really all we're asking. We're not asking to make it a tarred town road. We ask for nothing. Just leave the road alone.
Ms. Rudzinski.
Patty, you're talking about, an issue with what we're doing right now. We're arguing about this now. If you do close that road and then we want to open it like for development on our property, are we gonna be having to go through all this again with the abutters are gonna be against the development? You're opening a can of worms, you know, you're gonna be, no matter what, you're gonna be arguing over something. Whether it's what we're doing right now or in the future.
And it could hold up a major development because one person says, no, I don't want anything to do with this.
Right.
And it's over.
Yeah.
For all of us. So if you leave it alone, okay, it'll be fine. We're happy. All of us here are happy if you leave it alone.
Well, it sounds like to me, not all, it's, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have 5 parcels,
Yes,
5 abutters. It looks like there's 3 that are happy leaving it alone and possibly 2 that would like it to change.
Is it possibly, or is it 1 or 2? What is it? What is the real number?
If
Are
there was, if there was a show of hands.
Alan, we were-
It's not a silly question.
I don't think me or Alan want.
So we have Miss Kim, yeah, and that's fine, and you know what, you have every right, because you felt most impacted.
Well, you know,
By the use of the road.
you know, I haven't got 100 acres, it affects the value of my house having you know, traffic, if you make a road, a full blown, like a Labby Road going down there, there's nothing I can do about it, that's that.
Right.
But I got a dirt road that goes 25 feet past my house, and I got logging trucks and tractor trailer trucks, and it's a two-way road, it goes by my house or it goes by Alan's house, and I don't think either one of us
John,
want to see that.
you haven't had that for 6 years now since mom and passed.
Well, I know, I'm afraid that to see it again, I mean, I took it when I did it, I mean.
If
So
you leave it right the way
If
it
you
is
leave
right
it the
now,
way it is right now,
what's hurting you?
yeah, what's hurting you now?
I'm just stating my opinion, how it affects me, you know.
Alan Woodward, I think one thing that I've heard that appears to be a common theme is that the accessibility to Labby Road is in question because of the culvert. Therefore, if any development is done,
Mhm.
it's coming past our property and onto Wilsonville Road.
That's right.
But that's gonna be a 4,000 linear foot road improvement done by the town of Thompson. And then whatever road improvement would be done, need to be done up Old Bridge Road. I don't know the economics of the cost versus having access and doing a restoration project on the culvert over the brook on the Labby Road side,
Mhm.
which is more feasible. That I don't know. And, you know, whether it's considered selfish or not, what we're trying to do with our 150 acre property is create green space and preserve it. We have no intention of selling. We're most likely it'll be into a conservation easement, so it'll be permanently protected from development. That's our choice. And I don't begrudge any other abutter their wish to do what they want with their land. That's their right. And I understand their concerns, and if I were on the other side, I might feel the same way. But, you know, we've been in the town and owned that property for 150 years. We pay taxes for 150 years. So I can appreciate their concern when they're saying they've owned the property for 40 and they've paid taxes. But having an improved town road running through the middle, bisecting the middle of our property would be quite problematic to what our goal is as a landowner. You know, I'll end it there, and I know it may be a selfish thought, but that's how I feel.
It's everybody's right to believe what they need to, or to use their property the way they want to use it.
Right?
And so I understand the predicament. I feel personally that I'd like to just sit through everybody's thoughts, at least until the next selectmen.
I'd like to see the road, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's kind of hard to.
If you've never been
comprehend,
out there,
And I'm not,
if you've never
gonna
been out
lie,
there, you need to go out there.
I know Labby Road, but
Alan, what would again? Can we schedule a time where maybe all? the
maybe,
abutters
yeah, a group go walking,
Can figure out a time where most of us can be.
That sounds good.
would that,
I think that would be perfect. And we might have to call it a special, if we all go, we'll have to call
Call
it
it a special meeting.
meeting.
Like on a Saturday
Right,
or Sunday morning, Saturday morning, Saturday
Okay.
afternoon, something.
later morning, because
I can't do this Saturday. I have something at 8:40.
Well, we have the Makers Fair in town and
Yeah.
That's right.
you can't do anything.
Well, the
But
following Sunday
following-
is Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is when?
Sunday the 14th.
Yeah.
What about, Sunday? We have a tasting.
Saturday, the 13th?
No.
How about after work one day?
It is getting
That's the
later at
problem,
night.
getting to make-
It's getting lighter later.
Are there any more questions for the attorney? Because I'd like to
Yeah.
release. Him. Any more questions for our attorney, Rich Roberts? Rich, you're free to go. Thank you so much for sitting through this and answering our questions.
Oh, no problem.
All right, have a great night.
You too. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Rich.
Thank you.
Take care.
Monday, the 8th?
That should work for me.
Monday, the 8th at
I
like,
have a ZBA meeting. at
No,
night.
we're not gonna be in town on that weekend. Are you talking about June?
no, I'm talking about May 8th and we're just
We're
looking
doing
for
a
just a walkthrough. Small group walkthrough. I haven't seen the property and I want to better understand it.
That's this
No?
coming Monday.
How about May 10th?
Doesn't work for you? May 10th,
May 10th,
May 10th,
a Wednesday?
like 4:30, 5 o'clock, what, yeah, yeah?
What's ready?
I have 6 o'clock.
6?
No, I have a
Oh, you have something at 6?
land trust meeting at 6.
Could we be done by then, maybe? How long does it?
Hampton.
Oh,
The
You
11th.
ain't gonna get there.
the 11th I can't do.
How about we just schedule a time to walk with somebody on the property? We don't have to do it together. You know Scott.
My
Yeah,
schedule's wide open.
Your schedule.
I'm pretty wide open except for that one day.
Yeah, and that way we don't have to call it an official meeting.
That sounds good.
I'll reach out.
all right, so you want to send out some possible dates and, or we'll set something up
Yeah.
and those that can attend and,
I think I have everybody's email.
does that work?
Yeah.
We'll try to, coordinate in those that can,
Draw out some dates and times.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank
do
you.
that. Thank you, everybody. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
the
and
open
value
dialogue.
all of your thoughts. Yeah. So it's not an easy, it's not a cut and dry decision
No,
by any means.
No, but we do need to find out the status of Rich Road. That
Right.
connects
And-
to Owen Adams.
I'll follow up with Roberts on that. All right, is there any more discussion to be had on this topic? All right, thank you, everybody.
Amy,
Yep, Tara.
yeah, I just wanted to, and I don't know which of the property owners raised the question. And I also don't want to wade too deeply into this, but I just want to remind folks that it is possible to subdivide on a private road now. That is going to, once those new subdivision regulations become official on the 20th, that is sort of a new standard. So as Attorney Roberts mentioned, the existing road itself is sort of nor fish nor fowl, neither private nor fully private nor fully public, but there may be a remedy in there for those property owners who may wish to subdivide in the future. So I just wanted to remind some folks that things are different today than they were 3 weeks ago.
Thank you, I appreciate that input. Okay. Any other thoughts or questions on that? All right. Yep.
Well, you're gonna be talking to Rich?
Yes, I'm gonna talk to him about Rich Road.
Well, no, based on Tira's comment,
Right.
the current property owners definitely would have their easement to get to and from the properties, which is in statute that allows that all to happen. The question that I have after that, I don't know, was covered, it's an answer that needs to be done. If you subdivide and put houses in or whatever, and any of those properties up there, how does that easement affect or get transferred to each one of those now new property owners that are in that subdivision? You got to look at
The
you
big
know,
picture.
the big picture
Yeah.
of that as well.
Good point.
Question, and how does that affect getting to the property?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
If
not
it, if it's,
Can't even get to it.
well, no, you have access statutorily to
Yeah.
get there.
But you have access to get in there and sell the property.
And that's
and-
Ken's
and-
question.
That was my question.
Right.
You
transfer?
currently
Yes.
do, Tara said it's possible to subdivide if a housing development were to go in on any of those properties up there, except for the Woodwards, because that's conservation, but any of those properties. But the question is, you have the right, you sell the subdivision, who now has, how does that transfer to all these new individual property owners?
Oh,
Right.
And that's another question that has, it affects so many different things.
Mm. Could I
Well-
say one more thing whenever there's a minute?
Yes, please. Go right ahead.
Maybe we can look also into other pieces of conservation land, because I'm guessing in the United States, there's roads going through conservation land. And I'm guessing, I'm not sure, I'm guessing there's access through conservation land and what the sort of laws around that are as well. So just to kind of keep the conversation that maybe the whole road is open. If, and not just one end gets better treatment than the other, that kind of thing. So if, I can look into that, if anybody needs any, assistance, I'm happy to do that.
So one thing that I want to point out is, Tara stated Tara's our Director of Planning and Development. She said, let me further clarify by saying that is theoretically possible. Without seeing the configuration of the parcel, can't be known if there are other limiting factors, so.
Just one comment,
Mhm.
Marjorie Woodward.
Yeah.
They're right now, I mean, if you were to go out the Labby Road end, you go down to Wilsonville Road there. It's a little bit longer, but it's not hugely significantly longer to get on to access on 395.
Okay.
So, Owen Adam Road is not the only way you could get from that end to 395. Right now, I mean, people go around Labby Road and then on to Wilsonville.
Okay.
So you're
Sure.
not,
Could I say
you're not that much farther down Wilsonville Road.
Could I say one more thing to Mrs. Woodward's or Ms., I'm not sure, Ms. Woodward's statement? So just somebody who doesn't live in Thompson currently, but lives, in a city where every inch is valuable and touted on a sale. So if you're, for instance, if you're a block from a subway here, your property is 20 times more valuable than if the subway takes you 8 blocks to walk to. So in the sale, as Mrs. Noem was saying earlier, in the sellable points of property, everything counts. Everything counts. Location, location, location.
Any other thoughts? Comments? All right, we will move on to,
Is it possible, Miss Anon, for me to ask a question? It's Valerie Clark, it's just a question.
you're not directly
really.
affected. You could ask the question at citizen comment time.
Thank
We were
you.
really holding it open for the people that were abutters.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Moving on, agenda item 8, request from Girl Scout Troop 61193. Go with the flow drive.
Okay, so I don't have any of my girls with me. I gave them the night off tonight because all of them have other extracurricular activities. The girls had done some research into period poverty, and in which they learned that
Gentlemen, sorry.
We're still meeting.
We're still in the meeting.
I thought we were done.
No, no.
your part's done. Mine just started.
Yeah.
All right, so they did some research and learned that 1 out of 4 menstruating students do not have access or funds for period products. So they took approximately about $525 of their cookie product and profits and made 50 hygiene bags. 40 went to Thompson Public Schools to be split between the middle school and high school nurse's office. The other 10 went to Killingly because I have one that does attend Killingly, so we split it based off the number of girls percentage. They did all the math. Let them handle all that. So what the part of their process was trying to also find a way to have the community involved. They came up with doing a product drive. We call it Go with the Flow. So with the we already have permission from the school to have drop-off bins in both the high school and the middle school during period poverty awareness, which is the week before Memorial Day or Memorial Week. So the 22nd through the 26th, we're asking for permission to place a box here at the town hall as well as the library, if that's possible. So that's what we were requesting.
Are you gonna make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we grant permission for Girl Scout Troop 61193 to place a donation bin at the town hall and the library for their Go with the Flow drive between, is it just between May 22nd and 28th?
May 22nd through the 26th.
Oh, May 22nd through the 26th.
Your email says the 28th.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I meant the 26th, my apologies.
No, that's fine.
As long as we get it,
So I'll
Get
make
it in the
that
minutes.
motion.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion on this topic? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approving the location of a bin, a collection bin at town hall and library, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Bring it on. All right. Other business. Today I received, as we discussed in my opening or in correspondence, I received a letter. May 2nd, 2023, I, Janice M. Smith, resigned from my position as ACO for the town of Thompson, effective May 2nd, 2023. So I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation with regret.
A second.
Either one.
Any discussion?
Jan has been a fabulous ACO. She helped us to open up the kennels, the dog pound, and she's done a fabulous job, and I could not say anything more in support of her, so I'm sad to see her go, and I would certainly wish her well.
She is a lover of animals, and she took very good care of the animals in Thompson. We're really gonna miss her. She really helped to bring the program back up,
Yes,
and she'll be hard to replace.
definitely. So
So,
I wish her well.
Yep.
In her
Future
future endeavors.
all right, all in favor of accepting the resignation of Janice M. Smith, our current animal control officer, effective May 2nd, 2023, say aye.
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 I,
All right,
although I'd like to say no.
I know. Now we will open up the floor to citizen comments. Ms. Park, did you want to speak or ask a question on the topic now?
Sure. So my question, because I'm not clear on it, is if a town road is closed, yet it's still a town road, and it still provides access to the abutting residents to their properties, what is the obligation of the town to make sure that road stays clear for those abutters? Because I was confused when I heard that there had been trees that fell across the road and that the abutters were the ones cleaning the trees across the road and not the town.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
wish,
confused about that.
yeah, I wish I had a clear cut answer. There's too much ambiguity about who's. I think there was a belief in 1989 when the road was closed, that was all that needed to be done. When there were further steps that could have, should have, would have been done. And then when it was reopened for the gravel operation, that made it more confusing as far as whose real responsibility is. So I don't completely have a clear cut answer. I don't know if Ken does.
I would
Looks like
have to
Mike-
think it's town road. The town is under obligation to clear the trees. Obviously, we don't travel the road, so
We wouldn't know.
See, I
so
would
we
think the
we
opposite.
wouldn't know
I
that the
would think
trees are
opposite
down.
too.
I would think if we put barriers up when we close the road, then it's not usable and we haven't.
And if
We didn't-
they're-
we
and
didn't-
if
we
we're
did-
only claiming 156 feet.
Yeah, but that's
No,
because that's the
not
area that's being used
Yeah,
and we claim it for road reimbursement.
right.
Okay,
Mhm.
if that road was passable all the way through and we went in and graded and so forth,
Well, that's different.
we
though.
would put in, but it's not open to through traffic is what they did. Because it became a dumping ground.
It was terrible.
It was,
Yeah.
that's why they closed it in '89.
And not only a dumping ground, but people were down there, they were.
They were doing
stripping
everything.
stolen Cars, there were parties, and I could hear them from my house halfway down the road. It was really. a
The kids
problem.
hung out down there.
Pardon
Drive,
me?
the kids hung out, they drove the
Oh,
cars in and
yeah.
they,
I
they
could
hung
sit
out.
and say, oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
used to go down there.
yeah, they
And-
did.
And I was afraid, I had horses at the time, I used to ride down there, and it got to the point that, there's just, nobody lives on it, so it's, it was a problem, and, it's.
So good question, but.
Yeah. Don't have a clear cut answer, but
I think deep down, we're responsible for the road.
I would
Push
think
comes
so
to
at some
shove.
point.
We don't have to fix the culvert, because theoretically, we have access from both ends.
Mhm.
Okay,
Hmm.
not that you want to hear that, but that would be the truth. So instead of dumping the money into the culvert, they could come in from Wilsonville to get to their property over there, or come in from Labby to get to the other side.
it's one opinion.
Yeah.
I would beg to differ that the town, it was closed in 1989. It should have remained closed and steps should have been taken to discontinue it. But that's-
If Alan Woodward.
Sure, go ahead.
If it did become the primary access point for the abutters on the north end of Owen Adam Road, the town would be obligated to maintain the passability of that road, which would include clearing, grading. It's not passable, four-wheel drive might make it down through there right now.
Yeah, we haven't been in there.
No, I understand that, but I think
Decades.
that's my concern is in the town, if that became the egress and ingress to their properties from the Wilsonville Road end. You've got almost 5,000 linear feet of road that you're going to then have to keep up. Rather than access from.
And-
Laddie with the
And,
culvert. So
and just another thought, even though it doesn't affect you because of the length of that abuts
Mhm.
both sides of your property, but where the culvert is, if it did become discontinued, then the property owners would have to fix the culvert
I understand. And that was
Yeah.
I had a lot of concerns about
if they want
the
access.
request.
Right.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Thing is, even before it was closed, people pretty much were going around, it is, even when it was being maintained, it was graded occasionally. A lot of people did not use that, because it was more convenient and easier to go around Labby Road out to Wilsonville and then, that way. So I don't know that it's accessing properties at the north end of the road from the south end on that road. It'd be faster to just go around on Levy Road.
Any other citizen comments? I think I saw, was Mr. Warner's hand up? Mr. Warner,
Regarding Owen Adams Road, I used to drive on it before they closed it back in '89. Because for me, it was an easy way to get over to Webster. And still, it's such a pretty road and it's so nice out there. My wife and I go out there and we walk there at least a couple times a year. On another item, I would like a copy of the town attorney's legal opinion that stated that if the budget failed at referendum, but the resident trooper passed, that the Board of Finance could ignore the will of the people.
okay,
I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. I'll get that to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tara Penn,
Hi, just a couple of things. For the benefit of the Board of Selectmen, at the last meeting, you had approved contingent on the concurrence of the state, the contractor for the library roof I just wanted to let Ken and Suzanne know, because I let you know earlier today, Amy, that the state did concur. So I have notified the unsuccessful bidders via email, and I contacted the successful bidder by phone, and I'll send them a formal letter tomorrow. And then the only other thing, again, to go back to the Owen Adams Road topic, on some level, I'm reluctant to insert myself, but it does seem like an appropriate thing for my office to assist with. I would suggest that the abutting property owners would probably do well to sit down together with a large copy of the map, go over what their individual goals and concerns are, and then see if we can cobble together at least a paper solution. That might be even more useful than walking the property. If you can all be sort of looking down on it, and then, look at what is possible with regulation. There is definitely gray area because of the, neither public nor private aspect of it. But it seems like a solvable problem. So I just wanted to offer my assistance there.
Thank you, Tara. Any other citizen comments, let's say from the Zoom audience? Anybody in the Zoom audience wish to speak at this time? Anybody from the virtual audience? I mean, from the live audience? Yes.
I just would like to thank the selectmen for considering this continuance. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is tax refunds. I make a motion that we refund Linda M. Anderson $20.09, Charles A. Ocoin $10.08, and JP Morgan Chase Bank North America $204.04 for a total of $234.21 in tax refunds. Make that
Second.
motion. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these tax refunds? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and that concludes the regular business of tonight's meeting. I do have executive session on the agenda. I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen and the Director of Planning and Development go into executive session at this time at 8:32 p.m.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Sorry.
All in favor of moving into executive session with our Director of Planning and Development, say aye.
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 Say aye.
Aye.
All right, so I am going to pause the recording. I am going to put people
Yes,
into
for
the
you to sign.
waiting room, and I will let you back. I will let you back in when we are concluded with executive session. All right, so the board, oops, I gotta let people back in. Hold on. Things back in. Okay, we've come out of executive session. It is 9:08 p.m. No action is being taken at this time. I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 9:08 p.m.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of adjournment at 9:08 p.m. say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.